There you go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. I am playing around with different cameras. I got my GoPro this time, so we'll give this a shot. I ordered a mic for the GoPro as well. So appreciate you tuning into the Driving My Mind podcast. This episode, you're going to love this one. Stimulate your driver simulator. Have you turned on your driving simulator lately? Let me tell you a quick story. So the other day I was actually playing Mario Kart on my Switch. I got the Pro controller, and so it's just more comfortable, right? You can, it fits your hand better. And I was just, you do your fun little drifts, your little turbo drifts. You're doing the different courses. You're battling against the computer. Sometimes I'll go online as well. But I thought, man, this is so much fun. Let me actually turn on to my my real driver simulator. I have a PS5, so I do Gran Turismo 7. So I go to turn on Gran Turismo 7, and there's moments in time where I'm like really obsessed with it, and then I'll take a break. Really obsessed with it, take a break. So, Mario Kart kind of got me in the mood. And so I put on GT7. And if you check out my last interview with Scott and his EK9 Civic, I was just like, I have to do an EK9 on the Civic Type R. And I bought one used, right? You have to buy it used in GT7. And I went to the market and I changed it to Phoenix yellow, and I put some admin wheels on it, and I put a suspension. I changed the exhaust, and I took it out, and there's a lot of courses I've already done on it. And so I went to Suzuka Raceway, and I was just racing against Evo 8s and R32 Skylines, and there I am in my little lightweight Civic hatchback Type R, 185 horsepower, but this is my dream car, right? And I just thought to myself, man, here is something that people, I'm sure some of you guys listening are just driving simulator fanatics, but I wanted to open this up to the masses. Like, have you been driving on your simulator? Have you been stimulating your simulator, right? And so I'm hoping that I can talk about the importance of why these games are out, not just Mario Kart, but actual driving simulators, and why we need to pay more attention to them, and what are the benefits of them, for the masses. So let's go into kind of your common ones, right? So you have like iRacing, that's a big one. You have Forza, which I don't have an Xbox. I would like to get an Xbox just for Forza, but I'm going to wait for maybe the new Forza to come out. Maybe there'll be a package and I can grab it for Xbox. And of course, like I said, Gran Turismo 7. Now, if you're a PC fanatic, I know that iRacing's a really, really good one. And the community there is endless, and they have so many tracks on there. And I heard that sometimes they update them to the point where they would even add like different potholes or different like metrics on the track. And I'm just thinking, wow, like it's really gotten that specific and that detailed. And again, that's the beauty of these simulators, is that it's a lot of it's community based, which we're going to go into those perks. But let's start with one of the first reasons why you should be stimulating your driver simulator, is that it's a great opportunity for coaching. You can change the track conditions on Gran Turismo 7. You can make it rainy. You can make it sunny. You can change the aggression of the AI. And, every game review is going to say, the AI is so stupid, or the AI is just, makes the racing distracted. Well, take out the AI and race against yourself in a time trial, right? And the great thing about the time trials is it's just you, it's just the clock. And with the ghost feature, you can see what other people are posting in these real world circuits with the different kind of cars they're driving, their driving technique, which lines they're taking. I mean, especially when I would do like the Gran Turismo 7 like missions or the coaching, and they really break down in detail what you should be doing at these certain corners and turns at these specific tracks, once you look at the ghost, or you look at the proper way of how it's supposed to be done, you say to yourself, wow, like this is real driving. This is real technique. And if you're not braking the moment they want you to brake, you're not going to get first place, right? And you're not going to get your bonus car or your bonus money. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to coach. And, you can check your reaction time. And you can, again, using the community feature, look at the other drivers' techniques. Look to see how they're attacking a corner, or are they putting more throttle mid-corner? Are they using a car that's tuned, differently, more aggressively, less aggressively, and how you can make adjustments in your own driving and maybe in real life when you go to that course, to see how you can kind of get better. It's really kind of taught me the nuances of track driving and the importance of, balancing traction with your throttle input and knowing when to brake. I think for me, that's always been the toughest one, because I personally like to drive slow cars, Miatas, Type Rs, right? Maybe a V8 here and there, but I drive production cars, and especially with a Miata, half the time you're just holding on to the accelerator and turning, maybe letting off the accelerator, and that's it. But for me, braking has always been kind of an overlooked aspect in my driving. And so when I get into these faster cars, when I get into these McLaren F1s, like I really say, okay, it's not so much the accelerating I'm worried about, it's the braking and entry of my driving and my turning and cornering, where, if I can fix that, acceleration takes care of itself, because I'm hoping the driver next to me or the other driver doesn't do it, as correctly as I do. So braking and entry has definitely been something that has been a struggle for me, but these driving simulators have actually taught me to look for. So definitely opportunity for coaching. Next one, practice in a safe environment. Especially, I remember back in the day when Forza first started coming up with like destructible cars. Not they wouldn't like just blow up or like derby style it, but it was like you can mess up all your bumpers and you can mess up your chassis, and after the race you had to go and spend $15,000, to redo your chassis. Gran Turismo 7 does it, not as maybe aggressively as it was Forza back in the day, but you don't feel awful when you wreck your LC 500 or your McLaren F1, right? So it's an opportunity to be in a safe environment and really test, like, okay, I did take that turn too aggressively. Look how off the track I am. And imagine if you did that, like, when you go to these race environments and, or heck, even in autocross, and you see people blue taping their front bumper and their hood, right? Because they don't want all these rock chips and stuff on it. And so in Gran Turismo or any other driving simulator, you don't have to worry about any of that. Go at it as aggressively as you want, so that you can maybe start to learn, like, how, again, those opportunity for coaching, how you can actually learn to drive rather than just attack every corner, full throttle, 10 tenths, 11 tenths, you're starting to slide out. It's crazy. And again, I'm not saying that nothing's better than the real deal, right? Nothing's better than even going karting or doing your local autocross. But here's an opportunity to where, hey, I don't need to prep my car, change out the brake fluid, clutch is about to go out. No, here's a chance. Press the power button, sit your butt down, get to driving, right? And especially if you don't have a chance to experience something, like my dream is always to go to the Nürburgring, right? And I think that's a lot of dream for many people, but I'm not going to spend $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to go all the way to Germany, go to a place where, I have no relation or nothing, and kind of figure out how to rent the car there and have a track experience and I would be worried to death that I'm going to break something or wreck something. I'm in this foreign country and Germany's expensive in itself. And it's like, no, 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 no. I can go play on my PlayStation 5, hop on the Nürburgring with a Volkswagen GTI and just have a blast that in itself, right? Way back in the day, and this was on Forza when the Nürburgring was on. Me and my clan, right? My group of people that I played with, we would do cat and mouse, So we would have the mice would be the Mini Coopers, right? The slowest car you can get, I think, in the game. And then the mice were any supercar that they agreed to. Usually it was like the race cars, the like formula cars or whatever. And like your job is to help push and bump up your mouse all the way to the finish line and try to break people off, push them off into other corners. And it was just a fun way to, play with each other, play with other people, and at the same time explore the track and the limits and take in that is of the Nürburgring, right? So it's, again, a safe environment. You can try with different cars, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, front wheel drive, and not worry about breaking something or having to change the fluids when you come back, change your pads. It's wonderful. I love it. Next, moving on. It's a low cost option with friends, right? Again, I kind of led into that with the other story about cat and mouse, but I can go online with my buddy that is just a car nut as I am and log in to, race our GR86s in Tokyo, right? Or go to Watkins Glen with a Type R and really see like who has the better race. I would love back in the day the 370Z versus the Evo 10. And I would love to drive that. And okay, your turn to drive the Evo, my turn to the Z. Like you'll get to really see turbo 4-cylinder versus a rear wheel drive V6. And again, there's just these opportunities to create these amazing races, and not just dragging, but like really truly seeing like, oh, this car is better in this way. This car is better in this other way. So when I drive the Evo, I know that I can go more full throttle mid corner versus with the Z, smooth as fast. I have to really focus on threshold braking, getting into my turn and really hitting my apex. And I'll be faster than the Evo, who is, 400 pounds heavier than I am. Like I loved learning about all those nuances and doing it with friends, doing it with people that are just as car enthusiastic as I am or you are. And again, real racing is expensive. Tires, right? Just tires alone, which is going to lead into next week's episode, but just tires alone are ridiculously expensive. You're dropping $1,000, $1,500 every time you need a good set of tires. And that's just a lot of money that people don't have, or people don't have to invest in a hobby rather than put it in your own investments or 401k or into savings. Like I can't fathom where these people put racing as their heart and soul, and I love it and I respect it, but I would feel awful spending $1,500 on tires every 3 races. Like to me, that's just not value for what I'm experiencing. Maybe in my youth, perhaps, but I couldn't do it. I don't know how other people do it. Everyone has their own priorities, right? And so driving simulators are a wonderful opportunity to mitigate those costs. And don't get me wrong, a PS5 and Gran Turismo 7 isn't as cheap as buying a set of tires, right? And with some of these driving rigs, you're talking about, $7,500 for, with the racing seat, the TV mount, all metal construction. The sky is the limit now with some of these driving simulators. I am literally talking about PlayStation screen controller. If you wanted, the driving wheel, which I used to have back in the day with Gran Turismo 3, right? I mean, that can definitely be more of an experience. And now that they have like the Logitech wheels with the manual shifter, that just adds another sense of realism to it for some of these cars. But again, that's just more investment for a game that, for better or for worse, sometimes you come back to and sometimes you don't. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be way cheaper than real racing. And at the end of the day, also these driving habits you develop in these simulators do translate to the real world. I kid you not. I remember my roommate in college. He would be like, "Oh, you're playing Gran Turismo a lot." I was like, "Yeah. I've been kind of stuck into it with Gran Turismo 5 or whatnot." It was like, "Oh, so that's why you're driving more like an a-hole," right? And it's funny because you do, right? You really like, I want to hit full throttle now, or I really want to take that corner the way I'm supposed to. I'm looking through my corners, right? And it's just it really brings a sense of reality from the virtual world that you can take with you where you go, like shifting as quickly as you can, right? And maybe getting some slide action, definitely some braking mid corner, kind of slide in the ass end, and you can really take it and translate it to what it is and scare your college roommates. So, what are your thoughts about driving simulators and the importance of them for the community? And we were talking last week about bringing young driving enthusiasts into the community the right way. And so that could be another topic that we explore more. But again, get them on a video game. This youth love video games and they love instant feedback and reaction and seeing the cool cars and customizing them. My tutoring client, he has the whole wheel set up in Forza. And I mean, he just drives in free roam and does stupid stuff. But hey, it could be a future car enthusiast right there. So I appreciate it. Stay driven, stay positive. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.